Okay, welcome back, horse guys and gals. I think I'm finally ready to start this episode. I just spent like the last literal half an hour trying to figure out how to start this episode. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I record like this, I just do it all through the Spotify program. So they have like a Spotify for podcasters. So you can just record it all right here on the website, save it, and then upload your episode. So I got on and it's like, oh, we don't do that anymore. So you got to download this, you got to make this account through a thing called Riverside. And so I do that, and then it's like, oh, well, we don't support this browser. So it's like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I just got this new computer not that long ago. My boyfriend bought it for me maybe 6 months ago or something. So I'm like, okay, well, I haven't really played around to see if there's an actual like recording system on my computer, right? So I just spent the last half an hour trying to figure out how to use the sound recorder that's on my computer, because you can record sound, and then I couldn't figure out how to save it because it just wanted me to share it to different emails and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to actually save the sound onto my computer and then figure out how to import the sound onto the Spotify website. Oh my gosh, this has just been so stupid. So then I finally figure it out, right? I get it figured out, log back into the Spotify thing, and it's like, oh, here's the recording section again. So now that we finally have the website working again, which is not always, it says on here that June 1st you're still not going to be able to do it anymore. But yeah, really nice that I just spent the last 35 minutes trying to figure that out just for it to work normally. So here we are. How are you guys? How have you guys been? It's February 28th today, so it's the last day of the month. And you guys, it was 70 degrees yesterday in February, which is kind of like, I don't know, it was probably just a warm spell that like was blowing up here from the south or whatever. But I did see that, I don't remember who posted it, if it was like KCRG or some other website, that we broke a record. The warmest it's ever been in February was in like 1971, and I don't remember how warm it was, but we broke that record at, I think it was 71 degrees. So it was really warm yesterday. Actually, not last night, the night before, I had to turn the fan on in the bedroom. My boyfriend always sleeps with a fan, but I've never been one that like needs to sleep with the fan on. But I turned it on because, oh God, oh, the yawning's starting already. It's been 3 minutes. Anyway, I turned the fan on because I was like really kind of warm, uncomfortable sleeping the other night. But today it is, let's see if my computer tells me how warm it is right now. It's like 20 degrees outside. It's literally freezing. Yeah, it's not going to tell me. But yeah, so we had like it might even be colder than that actually. They said it was going to be like a 75 degree temperature change. So it's like, it's probably like 15 degrees or something out there right now, but I think it got down to 0 overnight, or maybe even less than that. I went out and did chores this morning, and all the horses' water tanks were frozen because I had taken the heaters out of them. So they were all frozen, and yeah, but everyone was still eating on their round bales and stuff, so that's good, but really annoying. And I did not go to work today, but I know at work they're like, trying to keep an eye on all the horses, because this super drastic weather change can cause like symptoms of colic, or just like horses to start acting weird and stuff. Luckily, none of my horses at home have really started shedding. I know some people's horses have like dropping all of their winter coats. Luckily, mine haven't started doing that yet. So they still have like their hair and stuff. So that's a blessing that they, didn't drop all their hair. But Hazel, is still at the trainers, but she has just like dropped so much hair. I went to see her a couple weeks ago, and she was literally like a shaggy mess, just hair everywhere, like full spring shedding type stuff. But she's also been living inside, so she doesn't really need the extra hair. And this cold spell isn't even supposed to last long. I think it's supposed to be back in the 50s tomorrow. So yeah, kind of a weird shift in weather, but I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the horses and making sure they have plenty of food and water. Which my horses have always been pretty good. Like, most of them have lived outside their whole lives. Like, they've always just they just have survival skills. You know, they know how to take care of themselves. They've never lived like in a barn part-time and then outside part-time where the temperature's constantly shifting around. It's always been like they just live outside and they're outside all year round, and they just their body learns and their mentality learns how to just take care of themselves. So that's really nice. My horses have never been accident prone. I know some people's horses, like, they just, anything that they can find to hurt themselves on or make themselves sick on, they will. But luckily mine aren't like that. So yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys have had a good, like, I don't even know if you want to call this spring because it's not spring. So I don't even know what to call it, but hopefully you guys have had a good February. I have gotten so much fence put in, you guys. The last, like, week or so, it's been so warm and the ground has been so thawed that, like, I've gotten all kinds of fence posts put in. I'm taking down all of the fence around my arena, and I want to put in wood board fence. So my arena used to be a dry lot, so horses used to just live in there. So it's been 3 strands of electric wire for quite a while. And so I'm taking all that down because it's no longer a dry lot. And I'm putting up wood board fence. So I've been putting in wood posts all week. I've got it like pretty much halfway around. And then I took down a bunch of fence in our backyard. We had a whole bunch of woven wire from an old dog pen in the backyard. And so I have been taking all of that down. I still need to pull the posts out of the ground, but I've been taking it all down, and I'm going to reuse that on one of the dry lots. So I really want to reduce the amount of electric fence I have this year because it's just the worst. I hate having so much electric fence. It's just like, it's so much maintenance. It's just so much maintenance, and like it breaks so easily. I like electric fence because it's so portable, and like you can just pluck it out of the ground, roll it up, move it to where you want, put it back in the ground. Like it's not that much work to put in. It's pretty quick to put in, and you can move it around. Like if you want to, you know, if your setup isn't so permanent, you can move it around. But it's a lot of just, you have to like walk it all the time to make sure the fence isn't down, it's not shorting out somewhere, there's not like stuff stuck on it. It's really nice to keep it mowed so like the grass and stuff isn't constantly touching it and shorting it out. And it's not broken, like literally just the deer and stuff, the raccoons, just the wildlife, like they go through it, the deer jump over it, they catch a wire and they break it. Like, or I noticed like I think it's the raccoons or something, they are like separating the wires. So like I have 4 wires out there, and it'll be like the bottom one and the one above it are like pulled apart. Like, I just realized I have like a sock in my sleeve. What the heck? But like the wires will be pulled apart like by the insulators. So something is like literally just pulling that fence out of its way so it can go through it. So I'm guessing it's probably the raccoons or something, but that's super annoying. And just, yeah, if the branches that are falling aren't breaking it, like, you know, the horses might get brave and reach over and break it or something. Or if it's not working, the horses will then start to figure out that it's not working, and baby usually is the one that figures out when it's not working and will like reach your head over it and bend and stretch the wires. Or your fencer just stops working. So yeah, there's like pros and cons, I guess, to electric, but I'd really like to just not have so much of it. It would be really nice this year as well to replace one of the fences in the back dry lots, but we'll just see what happens. I had to fix the shelter back there because some of you guys, if you don't watch the vlogs, I have just like those canvas like carport things that you can buy on Amazon or you know, just at like Menards or something. They're just those like canvas, they're a carport or like a shed in a box. And they come with like a frame that you put together, and then you pull the sheet over top of it, and it's just like a little portable temporary shelter that people park their car in, or they like stack wood in or whatever. So I have a couple of those. I have one that acts as the makeshift shelter for the boarded horses out back, and I got this $200 one off Amazon, so really wouldn't recommend it. My Shelter Logic one has held up really well, but this is just a no-name, like, off-brand one from Amazon. And it's just a little, like, 10 by 10, I think, shed in a box. And this thing, you guys, I've had to fix it twice now, I think, from it just blowing over. The one time it, like, came off the anchors, and it didn't, like, completely flip over, but it got all shifted around, and I had to go out and fix it. This time, it like completely blew over. I don't even know how it happened. It happened on a windy day. So like, granted, it was windy, but not that windy. Like we've definitely had windier days. And I don't know how it literally like just unhooked itself from the anchors, or it just like the wires broke or something. And it just like flipped over, broke, bent. The horses was great desensitizing for them because they were like, okay. But it was all like flipped over on top of like some brush and stuff. So I honestly just left it there for a couple days because I was like, I just don't want to deal with that right now. But I eventually got it flipped back over, figured out what pieces needed to go back together. The bent section, like it's not horribly bent. And then one pipe actually broke. So like the frame is made of metal pipes, right? And one of them actually like bent so much it just completely broke. So I just duct taped the crap out of it to hold it together for now, and it's just gonna have to do for the time being. So I had 3 sides on it, which I know that's gonna catch a lot more wind, but especially through the winter, I really kind of wanted to have 3 sides on it so the horses had a good spot to get out of the wind or snow. Gosh, sorry guys. If you're new here, I have a yawning problem. I don't know why, but every time I sit down to do a podcast, I yawn like 100 times in an episode, which never happens any other time in my life, just when I do this. But anyways, so the shelter right now does not have the 2 sides on it. It's just the sheet going over top, but it doesn't have the 2 short ends. So it's just a walk through type thing, which if the nice weather stays around, really should be all that they need for now. But thankfully it's held up. It held up last night. Last night was so windy, like crazy windy with this cold weather blowing in and stuff. And I actually didn't sleep most of the night because it was so windy, which I can sleep pretty good through thunderstorms, whatever, it doesn't bother me. But last night was like just so windy. And there is one tree behind our house that I get suspicious of because we actually had one fall last summer back there, and like the top 4 feet of the tree was on our house. Luckily, none of like the big, portion of the tree, the trunk or big branches or anything hit the house, but like the top 4, like it could have totally crushed our house. So I get just a little wary about the wind and stuff. I'm sure some trees in our timber went down last night, but yeah, and it's windy today. I just don't like the wind. I will take rain. I'll take, some flurrying snow, not a lot, just some flurries. And hot weather over the wind any day. The wind just makes everything so hard and so difficult. Like, it's miserable to work outside because it's just like blowing and your hair's blowing everywhere and everything's like, you can't concentrate on anything. And, you know, the horses, like, they don't do so well in the wind. So it just makes everything a pain. But, yeah. I did decide that I think I'm going to leave Hazel at the trainers for another month. So she has been there since January. So she's been there 2 months already. So I'm going to leave her for another 30 days. And honestly, just because, like, she's doing well and she's really progressing and doing great with them. And with my luck, I'm going to bring her home, and then March is going to be like shit weather and mud and rain or something. And so I won't even be able to do anything with her. So I'm like, you know what? She may as well just stay there. I'm constructing my arena right now anyway. So it's like, I don't really have a good place other than the round pen to even work her. So she may as well just stay there for another month. They can continue to ride her, put time on her, expose her and stuff. And then when she comes home, she'll pretty much be ready to just go into riding season. And I can ride her this year, take her to some shows. I did tell the trainer, I was like, before I come pick her up, I would like to get on her and have you kind of show me what you've been doing with her so I can continue that and, you know, maybe take a couple lessons on her. So I'm looking forward to that. She was doing really good the last time I went and visited her and watched them work. So she's just got such low confidence. So they're using a buddy horse for her. And basically he's this big, huge quarter horse. So literally makes Hazel look like a pony. I mean, she is borderline a pony. She's like right on that fine line. But she looks so small next to him, and he's just like a brick house. So she just sucks right up against him, and they do, you know, they're trotting in circles and stuff because she just doesn't have the confidence to go around by herself yet. It's like she needs that horse to follow to have the reassurance. She does go around a little bit by herself, but then she's kind of like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, where's everybody else? So they're using a buddy horse for her right now. And, yeah, she was doing good when I went and saw her. So she also is pretty much back to normal. So if you guys remember, when I took her there, she was kind of sick, and I have a vlog on my channel too, that she was sick, and we think that she had a mold toxicity thing going on. She was on a round bale that, like, most of the round bale was fine, but when they got down to like the last, like the worst bits of it, you know, when they're just cleaning up the last like quarter of it, and I went out there and looked at it, and it was really like a brown, I almost want to say it looked like caramelized, you know, like the hay, it wasn't like, I don't know, it didn't look real moldy or dusty or anything, but it was kind of brownish, like it had like cooked or something. I don't know, it was weird. But I have seen like burnt hay bales before too, like when they've almost caught on fire and they don't. But it looked a little weird. Like her poop looked kind of like a funny color, and she just was so unbalanced and wobbly and like couldn't walk right. And so I actually kept her at home for another week because that was the day she was supposed to go to the trainer. And I told the trainer, like, yeah, she doesn't look right, so I might not send her today and update you next week. And in that week, she improved a lot. But, you know, after doing some research and talking to my vet, we're pretty sure it was like a mycotoxin type thing going on, which can cause neurological effects. So I put her on Banamine twice a day for like a good 10 days or something. And that helped her improve a lot. Obviously pulled her off of the not good hay. But when she went to the trainers, she was still a little bit unbalanced, a little bit wobbly. And my vet told me that, you know, that'll take some time before that effect subsides and, you know, goes away completely. But she's pretty much back to normal. She's still got a couple things. They're trying to get her into a lope, and they think that she would do it, but she's not quite sure if she can coordinate her feet. So that's why she's hesitant to do it. They have her on a supplement, like a magnesium vitamin E supplement, which has helped her a lot, they said. And, you know, she's almost back to normal, but she's still got a few things. And I know some people had asked me about EPM, and while I didn't think it was EPM to start because, you know, none of the puzzle pieces were fitting to EPM other than her being wobbly. I did tell the trainer, like, if she's here and she doesn't seem to make any improvements at all, please let me know, because I will investigate it further and have my vet come out and see if that's a possibility. And the last time I went to, oh, sorry, I just hit the microphone. The last time I went to visit her, she even said, like, I think you were right. I don't think it's EPM either, because if it was EPM, her being here unmedicated, she wouldn't have made any progress, and she is making a lot of progress. I would say she's almost back to normal, but you know, if it was EPM and we just went untreated, she wouldn't have made this much progress. So yeah, she's doing pretty good. She's almost back to normal, and I think when I do bring her home, I'll probably just buy whatever supplement they're giving her and just keep giving her that over the course of the summer. And hopefully shit just keeps improving. So yeah, she will hopefully come home next month, and I'll take her and I'll take Chance around this year and get them exposed, take them to some shows. I really want to start ponying Chance along on our trail rides. My friend Melanie has been out a couple times to ride with me lately since the weather's been so nice. So we have kind of moseyed around in the timbers around the cornfields and stuff, and I really want to start ponying Chance along. He needs his feet done, so I need to get his feet trimmed because I think he's getting sore. And then I want to start, you know, just taking him along, and so he can kind of get a feel for things. And I have BB buddied up with him right now too, so they're friends and she can pony him. But I want Hazel to make friends with BB as well, so that I can use her to pony Hazel along this year, and she can kind of be my training buddy. So yeah. Also, in other news, I told myself I really wasn't going to do this year, but I feel like I tell myself that every year. But I am adopting a horse. I would say I bought him, but I haven't actually gone and done the paperwork and stuff yet. But I am adopting another horse. And he is from a rescue situation. So you guys probably didn't see it if you're not from Iowa, but a few months ago, the Animal Rescue League of Iowa confiscated, whatever you want to say, 46 horses from a neglect situation. And there's all kinds of pictures of these horses, and they're like emaciated. They have these nasty injuries. They look awful. And supposedly this lady was trying to be a breeder and then just like stopped feeding the horses. So they confiscated 46 horses from this one property, and just in the last few weeks they have made some of them available for adoption, the ones that are ready. And so I applied for a couple. I applied for a 2-year-old mare, a yearling gelding, and they actually sent me, I didn't apply for her, but they sent me a 3-year-old mare as well that I might be interested in. So I went and visited the gelding, the yearling, and he is actually a really nice looking horse. These are quarter horses, or quarter horse type horses. I'm sure they go back to papered horses, but they didn't like get papers on every single one of them. So this yearling gelding, he's a very nicely put together horse. And he's big. Like, I went and saw him, was like, oh my gosh, he's huge. So he's probably like as tall as Sugar is already. He's probably 14 hands or so already. And he's a chunker boy. So he's just a sorrel gelding with a stripe down his face. And I actually thought it was really cute. His name is Rojo, which is Spanish for red. And if you guys have been watching, I just lost a horse named Red, so it was kind of like ironic that the new one that I'll be getting is named Rojo. And I don't know if I'll keep his name, honestly. I don't really like the name Rojo that much. I kind of like the name Rojo, which sounds kind of dumb when I say it out loud, but in my head Rojo sounds kind of cute. Rojo, like I had a horse a long time ago named Mojo, or a few years ago, named Mojo. So like Rojo's kind of cute. I don't know. We'll see. But he's, you know, a sorrel gelding. He's like 14 hands already. He's so big. I think I just have gotten used to looking at Chance and thinking like Chance is like a yearling size, but even he's like twice as big as Chance. So yeah, he'll probably just go right in the pen with Chance and BB, and I'm sure they'll get along with him fine. But I'm really excited for him. He's not the friendliest thing, but you know, his whole life so far has been just like being neglected and not really being handled at all. He's not really broke to lead, so that's something we'll have to work on. And he did get his feet done, but they sedated him for it, so I'll have to teach him that type of stuff, and we'll go from there. But yeah, he's a cute little guy, and his only experiences with humans so far have basically been like doing vet work and footwork, so he hasn't had like the best, you know, experiences so far. But I think he's still young enough that it shouldn't impact like his ongoing personality so much. And once he kind of learns what's what, and that most of the time humans are pretty nice, I think he'll be just fine. But yeah, so he's gonna just probably hang around most of the year. You know, I might teach him a little groundwork and just the basic life skills like picking up your feet and leading and standing tied and stuff. But other than that, I'll probably just let him grow up another year, and maybe he'll be my project for next year. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm gonna go get him this weekend, and my stepdad's gonna take me over there. So this is my luck. Okay, story time. Not really, it's not really a story time, but you guys have known, I think, through my videos and stuff, that I have had the most shit vehicle luck the last 6 months. Like, just the absolute worst luck. So my car, I knew my car needed like a couple wheel bearings and stuff done, but and it needed the oil change done and stuff. But my car went to the shop a few weeks ago, and it needed tires. And so I took it to the shop basically and was like, just put 4 new tires on it. It needs an oil change. I wanted it aligned, and then I was pretty sure there was a bad wheel bearing. So I was like, just do the overhaul. So they put the tires on and they do the oil change, and they call me and they're like, yeah, so you have 2 bad wheel bearings and we can't do the alignment because you have a broken strut. So I was like, okay. And they're like, everything that we've done right now totals to like $800. If we do everything, you're looking at like $2,000. Okay, I was like, wow, that's what I paid for the car, right? Which the car is worth more than that, but my brother sold it to me cheap. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just probably gonna come pick it up because I can't pay for all of that right now. So it's got new tires on it, it's got the oil change, and it's gonna go back this week to get the struts fixed. So it's gonna get the struts fixed, and then my boyfriend's pretty sure he can do the wheel bearings. So hopefully those will get done. But it's literally not drivable until the struts are fixed. Like it's not safe to drive. He's like, you could maybe get away with driving it around town, but it could fall apart on you. It could also slice a hole in your brand new tires. So not really recommended. So I'm hopefully going to trailer it back to them to fix the struts, and then, you know, then it's at least drivable. My truck, my Chevy, it's drivable, but it's got such a bad fuel leak that it costs like $40 a day for me to drive it to work and back. So it's like literally draining the bank account just to drive it. So until I can get that fixed, it's pretty much sitting. And I think the fuel leak has gotten worse. Like, because I was driving it with the fuel leak, I think it's gotten a lot worse. So that one's just parked. And then you wouldn't believe the luck I have. So yesterday, so I just bought a new truck, right? Just bought this Ford 350. Hold on, I gotta start a new thing before my thing stops recording. Okay, so I just bought a Ford F350, And I've been driving it for the last few weeks, right? Because, you know, I was waiting to get my car fixed and stuff like that. So I've just been driving it, which also isn't cheap. So last night, I drove it home from work. I literally left work, got in my truck, was pulling out the driveway at work, and I noticed that, like, I braked to turn out the driveway, and, like, the truck just kept rolling. I was like, oh my gosh, like, do I not have brakes or something? So I was, like, very cautiously driving it home slow and kind of testing the brakes, like, as I was on gravel road, because I was like, if I don't have brakes, like, I do not want to get on the main highway. So the brakes were working, like, at the bare minimum level. So my brake pedal basically just sunk to the floor. Once it got to the floor and I, like, forced it down, it would brake. But, like, it was basically had no brakes. I was like, pretty sure these brakes aren't working. So I got it home fine, but, like, you know, was doing chores and stuff, and then before I went in the house, I was like, let me just peek under it quick. I peek under the truck, and the one, I think it's the back right, so the passenger rear, inside the tire, like inside the wheel well, you know, on the back side where the brakes are, is just, like, soaking wet, and it's dripping. So I was like, oh my God, why? Seriously, why? Just, do I not have, like, enough vehicle problems already? So I took a picture of it, sent it to my brother-in-law, who's a mechanic, and I was like, yeah, so this is dripping. Like, does that mean I broke a brake line? And he's like, well, yeah, you probably either broke a brake line or you blew a brake cylinder. Okay, I'm not a mechanic. I know what brake lines are, but that's about it. So I was like, great. So when my boyfriend gets home, my boyfriend's also a mechanic, you know, I told him that he said it was either a line or a cylinder or whatever. So my boyfriend comes home, he looks under it. He's like, oh, shit. I was like, what? He's like, you have no brake pad, and you have completely burned through the rotor on this brake. So basically there's, like, these pins inside the rotor, I guess, and once you completely ran through the rotor, you start to stop on those pins, which I'm pretty sure is the only thing that was allowing me to stop at all. So it's all, like, it looks bad. Like, when I look at the brake, I'm like, it's all rough edged and stuff like that, and so it obviously looks really bad. So he's like, this brake for sure needs to be rebuilt. But, you know, I don't know about the other ones. You would think, like, if you're going to redo them, you may as well just redo them all at the same time, right? So that they're all fresh and new. So I don't know. I just redid the brakes last year on my Chevy, and it cost me like $500 something. So I'm like, that's freaking fabulous. So I actually called into work today, which is the only reason I'm here filming this episode, because I don't have a drivable vehicle. So, yeah, dude. Vehicles, I've said this before, vehicles, they are the worst investment of adult life. And it doesn't help I have 3 of them. But literally no matter what, like, you never get your return on investment, right? So you pay all this money to have a car, and then you just spend more money to keep the car alive. You never get a return on it, pretty much. So yeah, my car goes in, like I said, in a couple days. Actually, it's supposed to go in tomorrow to the shop to get the struts fixed, so then at least I could drive that. But I'm like, well, I hope my boyfriend's truck can haul it there, because both of my trucks are shit right now. So yeah, it's so frustrating, so irritating. I don't even know why that brake went out like that. Like, I haven't hit anything. I haven't, like, you know, other than just potholes and stuff, but it's been driving completely fine the last few weeks. So I don't know if that brake was just already on its way out when I bought it or what, but yeah, super frustrating. So hopefully I'll get my car fixed, and then I'm hoping that the fuel leak on my Chevy isn't super extensive. Like, if I can take it to my brother-in-law or something, and maybe it's just a hole in one of the fuel lines or something. But yeah, So I have the actual worst luck, and that's what my coworkers said. They were like, it's fine, not a big deal, but you do have the worst vehicle luck. I'm like, yeah, I know. And you know what? None of my vehicles are that bad. You know, it's not like they're pieces of crap. Like my car is a 2015. So it's not that old. My Chevy it's like a 2004. So it's older. But you know, it's a good truck when it runs. It's just like all of the problems just happen all at the same time. So that's what gets me stuck. Like if their problems were spaced out a bit, I could manage them, but it's like nope, they all just broke at the same time. So yeah, that's like really annoying. And yeah, if you could just not get a car, I would super recommend it. I wish I just worked in town and then I could just, you know, ride horses into town and just call it the good old days. But yeah, so I think that's all my updates for you guys. We talked about Hazel, Rojo, Arena. Yeah, I mean, I hope this cold weather is gone by tomorrow like they say it's gonna be, and I can get back to working outside and stuff. But otherwise I'm pretty much stuck at home for the next like 3 days. Oh, I did want to tell you guys too, I talked to my friend Melanie. You guys probably know Mel. If you've been here a while, she is featured in a lot of my videos, and we've been friends for a long time, so like she's definitely been around the videos and stuff. Most of you guys know who she is, I think. Well, she said that she would do a podcast episode with me. So we were talking on Snapchat the other day, and we just do that thing where we like send each other super long videos of us talking. We never actually call each other. But her boyfriend overheard us just bitching and he was like, you guys just need to have a podcast or something, just listen to you guys talk the way you do. And I told her, I was like, well, you know, I have one, so if you ever want to come on, like, just let me know. And she's like, yeah, I probably would. I don't even know what I would talk about or say. So let me know what you guys, if Mel comes on, what you want to hear us talk about. Leave us some questions down below to answer. Give us some topics, some like hot topics or hot opinions down below in the comment section, so that Mel can come on and we can do some trash talking and stuff. So let me know what you guys want to see, and I'm gonna hop off of here because these headphones are really starting to hurt my ears. So thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stick around and let me know what else you guys want to see this year. So I'll probably see you guys this weekend when I go get Rojo. So I'll try to vlog that, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.